Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really cut through the noise and get you the insights you need. Today, we're tackling something big, that first significant amount of money. Hitting that $10,000 mark, it comes up so often as being like the hardest step, but also maybe the most important one. It seems to prove something.
Exactly. And that's our mission today. We're diving into advice from Mark Tilbury, a self-made millionaire. Specifically, his YouTube video, Do This to Make $10,000 as a Student. We're going to break down his really practical three-step approach. First, how to earn that initial 10K, and then, just as important, how you turn that income into actual long-term wealth. It's a roadmap, really.
Okay, let's unpack this. So Mark Tilbury kicks off by saying that first $10,000, it isn't just about the cash. It's actually a huge mental shift. It's the proof, right? Proof that making money is a skill, something you can learn, repeat, scale up, not just luck. Getting from $0 to $10,000, that seems to be the toughest hurdle because it fundamentally changes how you see things. What's possible?
Yeah, and that's exactly why he warns against jumping straight into things like, say, crypto or day trading, not as your main thing when you're starting. It's not just that they're risky. They need huge amounts of cash up front, he says, and frankly, crazy luck or timing that most people just don't have starting out. He sees them more as tools for multiplying money much later on, once you've actually got that base, not for earning it in the first place.
Right, so that starting point needs to be different. Tilbury says it should require like a small amount of money to begin with, and crucially, it needs to consistently put cash in your pocket, like every day or very regularly.
And when you boil it all down, he identifies 4 main ways to get that quick cash. And he actually tried all 4 himself, which is interesting. Picking the right one for you is key, though, because they really differ in how fast they bring in money and how much you can scale them.
Okay, so what's option number 1? The first step he suggests for getting cash flowing, especially if you're starting from scratch. That brings us to option 1, selling in-person services. The common stuff. Personal training, driving deliveries, dog walking, nail design, barbering, videography. Why does this work? Well, he says it's one of the fastest ways to make money. You get paid immediately. Plus, it's pretty cheap to get started. You just need the skills, maybe a few basic tools. His advice is pretty blunt. Don't waste time building websites or running ads at first. No logos. Just get out there, find some customer in your local area, deliver the service, and get paid. Action first.
Yeah, and he tells this great story from when he was young. He used to wash cars in wealthier areas. And he specifically looked for houses with tidy gardens but dirty vehicles.
What?
Smart kid. His thinking was, these people care about appearances, they'll probably pay to have a shiny car. It's about finding that specific need.
Brilliant. But there are definite downsides. These services are obviously limited by your local area. Demand can be up and down, and you're basically trading time for money, working with one person at a time. So great for starting, yeah, but you can quickly feel like it's limiting your potential. You hit a ceiling pretty fast.
That's a really common bottleneck. Okay, so if services give quick cash but have limits, what was the next thing Mark tried? To get beyond just local stuff, that leads to option 2, local products. Selling things like home-baked cookies, maybe handmade crafts, artwork, fresh vegetables from your garden, that kind of thing. But unlike services, this is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, right? You have to make the thing first, then sell it.
And Mark tried this too. He used his car washing money, bought some cheap model airplane parts, built the planes, and then sold them at his local RC flying club. Sounds kind of fun, actually, but he realized pretty quick he was putting a lot of work in for very little money. I can totally picture that. All those hours building.
Exactly. Material costs ate up most of the profit, and the customer base. Very limited, just the people at the club. So yeah, it can be fun and maybe worth it if you want to make some money from something you love. But it's definitely not the fast track to $10 if, growth is the main goal.
Okay, so local is limiting. How did he break out of that? Which brings us, I guess, to option 3, global products. We're talking starting a clothing brand. Maybe drop shipping, reselling sneakers, print on demand. The huge advantage here is access to a much larger customer base.
Yeah.
You're suddenly not limited to just the people in your town or city, the whole world, potentially.
Right. And he actually flew to China way back when to partner with a manufacturer for his model airplane designs to sell them worldwide. He points out that things like drop shipping or print on demand make this much easier now. They weren't really options when he started out. It shows how things change. But this path, global products, it usually starts slow because your profits, they often get reinvested back into new products to sell. It's this endless cycle of restocking. So you need patience. He reckons 1 to 3 months for everything to start kicking off
Right.
properly before you really see the money stacking up.
But the payoff, long term, can be massive. He calls it probably the most passive, laziest way to make money that actually works. That's got to be appealing, right? Real passive income.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, option 4, selling online services. This is stuff like copywriting, video editing, thumbnail design, maybe running ads for businesses, social media management. And this option, which really took off long after you were starting out, kind of combines the two biggest benefits from the other options, in-person services and global products.
Oh, so
Well, you get the global reach, like with products, but you get the amazing profit margins of a service.
right. Because with products, you might only make 20–30% profit and often reinvest that. Services, though, you're talking 70–80% margins sometimes. That can go right in your pocket. Plus, you can often start making money from day one. So yeah, Tilbury really flags this as likely the fastest way to make money right now.
So, okay, how do you actually pick your online service? Find that sweet spot, as he puts it. He suggests asking yourself 3 things. 1, what are you really good at? 2, what do you genuinely enjoy learning about? And 3, what problems do businesses consistently struggle with? Where those 3 overlap? That's probably your best bet. That's where the value is.
And here's some key advice that kind of goes against the grain. Don't wait months or years perfecting your skill before you even start. He says that's totally backwards. The goal should be to start getting real-world experience as quickly as possible.
Hmm.
He even suggests setting your prices under the normal market rate at first. Why? So you can earn and learn at the same time, get momentum, get feedback. Don't wait for perfect.
Right. So once you have that high-income skill, whatever it is, the next challenge is turning it into, a really significant income, that $10,000 a month target or more. And for this, Mark Tilbury talks about his skill pyramid. It's basically 4 elements. Master these together, and you avoid just working hard but never breaking through that income ceiling.
Okay, element 1 is positioning. This is crucial. Not all online services are created equal. He makes this really strong point. The real money is in offering to help businesses make more money. Simple as that. Think about it from the business side. Spending, say, $2,000 to solve a problem, it's no big deal for a company making $50 a month if that solution helps them make more money. It becomes an investment, not just a cost.
Exactly. And businesses always have the same core problems, right?
Right.
They need more customers. They need better systems. They need to stand out. They need to turn leads into sales. These problems never go away. And businesses will consistently pay good money to solve them because it hits their bottom line directly.
So the examples he gives, instead of just being a general video editor for tiny YouTube channels, maybe you specialize in editing for entrepreneurs, selling courses or products, helping them sell more. Or instead of designing random thumbnails, you aim to be the go-to designer for a big creator whose income depends on those clicks. If you write, don't just churn out cheap articles. Focus on optimizing landing pages that actually convert visitors into buyers. It's not about learning tons more skills necessarily. It's about putting yourself where the money's being made. A total mindset shift.
Okay. Element 2 is leverage. He basically says you won't hit that $10 a month mark without leveraging your value beyond just your time. Businesses ultimately pay for results, not just your effort. So the big shift is moving from charging by the hour to charging based on the return on investment, the ROI you deliver.
Right, like his Facebook ads example. If you charge per hour, there's a hard cap on your earnings. But if you charge based on the revenue you generate for the client, suddenly they're not thinking about your fee. They're thinking about the profit you're making them. When they see your work directly boosting their sales, they'll happily pay you more because it makes financial sense for them.
Totally. Same for social media management. If all you do is schedule posts and reply to comments, well, you're kind of replaceable.
Yeah.
But if you can show with data that your strategy leads to more engagement, more leads, actual sales, then you become a valuable asset, not just an expense.
Yeah.
That moment, you shift your pitch from what you do to what they gain. That's when you find people are suddenly willing to pay a lot more. It reframes everything.
Okay, element 3 is reach. And this is interesting. He says the biggest mistake starting out is thinking you always have to chase clients. The real goal, make clients come to you. He tells this amazing story about needing a graphic designer for some movie-style posters. He found a guy on TikTok who was just posting his designs for fun, not even trying to run a business. But his videos blew up, his inbox got flooded, and eventually the designer actually reached out to Mark for help setting up a proper business to handle it all. Crazy, right? Accidental success.
It's such a good illustration of why you should always be putting your work out there online. Always. Even if you're just starting out or even if you're just doing something because you enjoy it, you honestly never know what doors might open. It creates inbound interest.
So practical examples, if you edit videos, show some before and afters, a cool highlight reel. If you're a thumbnail designer, maybe do a quick breakdown. Here's why this design got more clicks. Show your thinking. Learning social media. Document growing an account from zero. Show the process, the results. Don't hide your light under a bushel.
And the fourth, final element is automation. But it's really about reliability. This one hit home for me. Mark Tilbury drops this stat. 95% of people that try to start a side hustle or a business fail before they even really get going. Why? Because they promised to deliver on time, then completely miss their deadlines. Ouch. But probably true for many.
Yeah. And the thing that makes you stand out most, it's often not pure talent. It's not charisma. It's just being incredibly reliable. He thinks overlooking this is the biggest mistake young people make. The people getting paid the big bucks. They aren't always the best at what they do, he says, but they're the most organized. They never miss deadlines. They always communicate clearly, and they make working with them effortless. That consistency is gold.
So how do you actually be that reliable person? Don't just rely on your memory or scribbled notes. Use automation. Specifically, he recommends using a CRM system, customer relationship management, like ODU CRM, which he mentions, something to keep track of everything.
And the benefits are pretty clear. A CRM remembers who you talked to, what they needed. It helps you visualize your sales pipeline, track potential income. It schedules calls, organizes emails and notes, keeps track of clients and projects, sends reminders for follow-ups. Basically, clients just want someone they can count on. And a good system helps you be that person consistently. Okay, so earning the money is step one. Building the skills, positioning yourself, being reliable, that gets the income flowing. But, as Mark Tilbury says, the next step is turning that income into real long-term wealth, not just, spending it all. This is where the mindset really shifts again.
Yeah, he draws this really sharp distinction. The rich see their income as something to spend, whereas the wealthy use it to make more money. It's a completely different way of looking at the cash that comes in each month.
All right, so he outlines 4 main areas for investment, moving from the safest options up to the highest risk. And of course, the standard disclaimer applies. This isn't financial advice, just what's worked for him.
Right. So first up, a high-yield savings account. The main goal here isn't huge returns, he mentioned, maybe 3% or so. It's about having a financial safety net, cash ready on the sidelines. Why? To avoid being forced to sell investments at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like, imagine having to sell stocks when the markets crash just because your car broke down. That's what this buffer prevents. It gives you access to money when needed, without penalties. It's peace of mind.
Got it. So it's less about growth, more about stability and protecting your other, maybe riskier investments. Makes sense.
Investment number 2, index funds and ETFs, exchange-traded funds. He loves these. He uses that phrase, it only takes the price of a coffee a day to become a millionaire, and said, this is how. Because they're simple, designed for the long term, and extremely low maintenance. They basically track a whole market index, so you get automatic diversification, passive growth.
So examples would be like the S&P 500 index, which tracks, 503 of the biggest U.S. companies?
It's exactly.
Or a total stock market fund, he mentions VTSAX for the U.S., VWRL ETF for the U.K., or even an emerging market fund like VWO or VFM ETF. And the potential impact is huge. The S&P 500 averaged over 10% return in the last decade. He calculates that investing just $5 a day, about that coffee price, from age 18 to 67 at that return, could result in over $1 million by retirement.
Wow. And if you want to retire sooner, you just invest more. It really shows the power of compounding over time.
Investment 3, individual stocks. Buying shares in specific companies. He thinks this is a good way to start learning. It gives you hands-on experience with the market, right? It's more engaging than just buying an index, helps you understand company financials, and it gives you direct exposure to specific companies you believe in and their potential gains.
But it definitely comes with higher risk, he notes, and more ups and downs than a broad index fund. So maybe useful for learning the ropes with small amounts of money you can afford to potentially lose, rather than betting the farm.
Precisely. And finally, investment 4 is cryptocurrency. Mark's pretty honest here. He admits when Bitcoin first appeared, he thought, like a lot of people, it was a scam, no tangible assets, right? But around early 2019, he decided to dip his toes in, started steadily buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looking back, he calls it a solid move that made him a decent amount of money.
But he's quick to add a major caution about altcoins and meme coins. Yeah, they can produce crazy returns, but they're way riskier. So many people lose money fast on those. It's pure speculation sometimes.
His own strategy now, he says he's more bullish on crypto overall, but plays it smart. He focuses on building positions slowly, using dollar cost averaging, buying regularly regardless of price, and trying to avoid buying at bad prices like peaks. A disciplined approach.
Still, the main warning stands. Crypto is super volatile and definitely carries risks. He really hammers home. Do your own research. And critically, only invest what you can afford to lose. It is absolutely not for everyone or for money you need soon.
Okay, so that's quite a journey we've covered. From figuring out those 4 options to make the first $10 J, especially online services, then mastering that skill pyramid to really scale your income. Positioning, leverage, reach, reliability, and finally, making that crucial shift from just earning to actually building long-term wealth through smart investing, covering the spectrum from safe savings to riskier crypto.
Yeah, it really highlights that wealth building isn't one single thing. It's this evolving skill set. It starts with how you get that initial capital, then how you strategically grow it, and just as importantly, how you protect it along the way.
And Mark Tilbury leaves us with that really sharp, provocative thought to chew on. I don't care how much money you make until you see at least $1 million in your bank, you shouldn't be wasting it. The rich see their income as something to spend, whereas the wealthy use it to make more money. That difference is everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
That fundamental shift he's pushing for, moving away from being just a consumer towards becoming an investor, seeing every dollar not just as something to spend, but as a potential seed for future growth. The compounding power of that mindset is huge.
So the question for you listening is, what does all this mean for your financial path? Where are you now? And how could you start applying some of these ideas? Maybe think about which of these steps feels most relevant right now. That first $10,000 might be closer than you think. And the journey to wealth, it really does start with that first informed step.